Hello, everyone. Look, we're back. Kathy, where are you?
I just happen to be outside a little coastal town across the world. I don't want to say where I am, but
It's very picturesque and colorful and gorgeous.
thank you. As soon as this is over, I'm going to go grab some fish and chips and call it
Oh,
a night.
how are you? Are you gonna have you're not gonna go and have like a pint at the what is it called? The what is it? The Duke
The Duke of something, I don't know. Yeah,
Duckworth.
that's actually a good idea.
The Duke of Duckworth.
Just stop for a pint, check out the local graffiti, and just chill.
Oh, okay. Sounds good to me. All right. So I don't even know how I stumbled upon the Republic of Doyle, but when I did, I am not a binge watcher and I go crazy. Like I like to savor it. I could see Christina. She's was listening to me. I see your comments, Christina. So I like to watch things slowly. I don't know for whatever reason I couldn't. And I just binge watched every day over and over. And then I promised myself I would go all the way back and start again. And I did, and I took my time. And then I go back again because I'm like in love with everything of the cast, the writing, the setting. I mean, goodness, goodness, goodness. So what do you think, Kathy? Are you loving it?
I had never heard of it before, and then it's been a few months. Roxanne mentioned it to me. She said, I think you'd love this Republic of Doyle. And I spent several months humoring her. Yeah, as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to check it out. And it finally got to the point where it was embarrassing that I kept saying, I'm going to check it out. So I figured you need to at least watch it. And so I was actually on vacation, I think. I think I took a few days vacation, and Roxanne messaged me about something. And I was actually at the point I replied, please don't bother me now. I am binging Republic of Doyle because I watched the first episode and it had, I mean, everything I love about a series. And that includes um, good relationships, not just romantic, but good relationships, romance, comedy, mystery, and action, adventure. And I was absolutely hooked. And the most important thing is for me, it was done with its run and it ended well. It didn't end on a cliffhanger or, where you just stop in the middle because you don't know you've been canceled. It ended on a high note. And so I got hooked. And the rest is history. I'm just watching episode after episode after episode whenever I have spare time. Usually late at night after the day is done. I'll
It's
just
like
tune it
your
in. Yep.
my little treat. I love it. I make it my treat, and no one could be near me. No one could be in the house. No one could be in bed with me. I have to be by myself
Yep.
watching the TV and just doing my thing. Oh my god, I love it. So I know we got all kinds of little comments over here we'll address. I was like, well, we should start with episode 1
Hmm.
and pay attention to all the little details because it's like it's the exposition I tell my students in a storyline at that very beginning. And it's an exposition because we get introduced to all the characters and I
All the
love how they do it.
relationships.
Yeah, relationships. And I've said this so many times in my conversations with people. I've never watched a series that was as consistent as this was. Like
Mhm.
they never that I could find, and if you can let me know as a piece of trivia, but I could never find a mistake like in storylines and in characters. I just they show up. There's a set of characters, like every episode has wonderful guest stars, but then there's also every season recurring characters that come back, and they're interesting every time. Like you want them to come back, and
And
there's
they've
story.
evolved every time. There's something new with them. This we haven't gotten to it yet in what we're going to be talking about the episodes. But one of my favorite characters is the kid from was it Christmas Story? The ginger, the redheaded guy
Yes,
who is constantly getting injured. I don't want to get into any spoilers, but
yes.
you will not. This show does not disappoint.
No, it has everything. It could be really emotional. It's hilarious. So
And
that's
all
one
in
of
the
the.
same episode, sometimes in
Mhm.
the same scene.
Well, I'm going to share something real quick. Let me go back. Close your eyes. So I don't want to make you dizzy. What I love is how how the whole show opens up. And it opens up with, we get to see where you are, Kathy, the background, which you said is like a character, the setting. So St. John's, Newfoundland, right?
Yep.
And you see the streets and you see Jake, who is the main character. He's running the streets and he's running after, which we find out later is Des, who's next to him for spray painting. And the father, I love how the two of them have their dialogue together and the crazy things that they say to each other. Like he's like, the father says to him, "Oh, you know, you used to be more fit," and he's like, "Bite me." So then he starts running on top of the roof and he follows him and Jake actually pushes Des off and the father looks at it and the father's like, he's like, "Oh my goodness, you know, you like it made him upset." And he's like, "Oh, you just couldn't get your walker down here, old man." He's like, "I'm leaving." And he leaves and he tells Des, oh, he's emotional like that. But I like it because in that clip, they use the dialogue where he's like, we're PIs, we're not mercenaries. So you know right away what they are, why they're running, why they're chasing him. And they do it smartly. So it's really good writing. And then we have this fabulous cast. So this is Alan Hocko, who actually is also, he's like the showrunner. When he was about 19, he thought up this story in his head. And I remember in an interview, he said he put the production company together because it gave him an opportunity to be in things that he wanted to be in. But his first love is acting. And then we have Sean, is it McGinley? I think that's how you say it. He plays the dad, right?
Yep.
And then, oh my gosh, my favorite actress of all time, Linda Boyd. I mean, this woman is phenomenal. I don't know if you watch Virgin River, but one of the best characters I thought was when she was in Virgin River and she has some powerful, like, kills you to the core scenes, like you ugly cry. She's so good. She's so
Was
good.
she the she wasn't the mother who tried to pretend the baby wasn't hers?
Yeah, at first
I
she
did love that.
yeah.
Can I jump in for just a sec?
Oh yes, go right ahead.
What Roxanne was just saying about the actors to infinity. And one of the things I love most about the actors, is from the star to the guest star to the recurring characters to the background extras.
Yes.
I feel like I'm in the House of Mirrors because poor Roxanne, I've been bugging her so much because I go, "Oh my gosh, that's the guy from Haven, and that's the guy from When Calls the Heart and Bitten." It's like a walking gallery of people you've seen on all these, kind of fringe stations. Well, Hallmark's not fringe, but sci-fi and
Murdoch Mysteries.
Murdoch Mysteries. Yeah, it's just fabulous, and they're all
Heartland.
so capable.
Yep.
And it looks like nobody is too proud to take a little bit part in this thing.
Nope. It's like they love Alan. They got in line. The other showrunner is, and I do not, I do not like when I say names wrong. So if I say his last name wrong, I apologize. First name is Perry. Last name is Chafe. And how would you pronounce that, Kathy? Chafe. Chafe. Chafe.
It's either Chafe or Chafee or Chaffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
He writes and is a showrunner along with him. They're amazing together. There's a third gentleman, I think, and we're not talking about him tonight, but we will as time goes on. So these are the big characters, and they are. We don't lose any of them. They are there the entire time. The character of Jake Doyle, which is Alan Hocko, and then Malachi, who is the father, and Rose. She's, what's her name when she
Linda Boyd, or
it's Linda Boyd, but is it Rose Miller when she first comes on? I think she's the best. And then we have Des Courtney. That's who they were chasing.
That's his name when he first comes on.
Yep. And then we have Leslie Bennett. She's the constable. And that is Kristen Pellerin. She's got an amazing voice. She's a like a theatrical actor. Like she's in all kinds of plays still to this day. You can find her all over YouTube, or if you're in Canada, you could see one of her plays.
Can I tell a story on her before we move on to the next one?
Yes.
So, as the story goes, as Alan Hocko tells it, these two, he met Kristen in acting acting school, I think it was.
Yep.
And I don't know if they had a scene together or he just spoke with her, but he said after, spending a little bit of time with her, he said he was, quote, in actor love. And he said he knew that he had to work with this woman. And so he actually wrote the role of Leslie Bennett specifically for her. And
Yep.
so that's why you're seeing all the chemistry,
Mm-hmm.
because Alan and Leslie had it right off the bat. And I love that he called it actor love. So it's like,
Yep.
yeah, I got my wife, that's my boo, but this one here is, the work wife. So I thought
Yes.
that was a cool story.
This is Martha Bernard. She plays Tinny, which is the niece. And Alan, Jake is like a dad to her, basically. She lives with them, and Rose basically with Malachi raised her. And she grows too. The car, the GTO, it's a 1968. Woo, woo. I love that year, GTO. And it's amazing. It's part of the story too. I was saying it was the main character, but Kathy, you think that the main character is St. John's, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, almost every scene is preceded by a panorama of shots
Yes.
of the town and the location where they're about to show the next scene. I would love to retire there. It's just fabulous.
Well, we're going to go visit. Now, I wanted to pull this out. This is from the first episode, and this is when we get to see Jake walks into the hospital. I don't want to spoil it in case anybody hasn't seen the first one, but when he walks into the hospital and he gets to sneak in, he wants to talk to the wife of the victim, and the two police officers that are standing there kind of on their phone, and they follow and look at the backside of a nurse that's walking by. So he thinks he sneaks by, and then there's this pole, and right around the corner comes Leslie. And it's the first time they see each other. And they get introduced by her partner. And look at the look on his face. I love it. He keeps staring at her like that. And then this is her look. And they just look, and then she looks him up and down when her partner is saying something, and he's like, "Are you checking me out?" And then they go eye to eye, and they turn, and I thought, oh, there's a story here, and it has a great ending in that episode.
Kittens there, yeah.
Yes. So I don't know, just the dialogue, just the back and forth. There are so many cute lines. There's a scene, Kathy, you said it. You said when you were done, you wanted to go eat some fish and chips, right?
Yeah.
He buys her a meal. I think it's like the only time he ever. Yeah.
And not only did he buy her a meal, he then grabbed 2 chips and tweaked her nose with them. And she was like, okay, I have no idea what to do with this. She didn't get mad. She didn't, get angry. She was just like, okay, this dude is something,
I know. And I love the dialogue. I don't want to say in case no one saw it, but I love the lines. Well, you know what? If you're here, spoiler, close your ears. I love when she finally says when they're in the hospital, okay, he goes, just 3 minutes. That's all I need. And she goes, yeah, I'm sure that's all you need. And he kind of looks at her like, she goes, go ahead, go in. And I like how he helps her out in the end, and she gives him a call. And the end to end is great. What about the crazy wife, Nikki? She's crazy, right?
Oh my gosh, she's so unbalanced.
And she's a doctor.
And I thought it was really interesting that in the credits for the first episode, Nikki actress came before Leslie actress, which I thought was very interesting, considering what the roles turned out to be. So I'm not sure if that was just kind of a diversionary tactic or something. I'm not sure what happened there, but I thought that was very interesting.
I think it just was. I put up here, I had put this up earlier. It says, Republic of Doyle fans, we need a name. Do they already have one? I never saw one, and I will have to ask Stephanie Beaumont, who I'm going to explain to you who that is in a minute. Or we could make up one ourselves. So let's stay on that topic where I loved Christina said hello ROD, but then she had a cool idea of saying, let's call ourselves the Doilies.
I like that.
I do too. And you want to know what? Even if they already have it, okay, they have it. We haven't heard it. They haven't been on social media because this was 6 seasons and it ended in 2016. And I was like, well, we can revitalize it a name. And I like doilies. What do you think? You like it, Kathy?
I like it a lot.
Okay, so Christina's supposed to be savoring it. She says she's already through season 3. Excellent. Take your time. Now, Margie. Hello, Margie. Looking forward to this chat. I've watched the whole series and
Oh,
already
good.
want to go back. Good.
Yeah, you can really dive in and you know what's really cool, because I haven't watched every single episode, but I've been moving, moving around. What's really cool is going back to the beginning and watching, knowing what is going to unfold. So watching Leslie and Jake do their little first introduction banter, and knowing what's going to happen with those two. Oh my gosh, heart be still. And even like Rose and Penny, they had such a confrontational relationship, and they end up being so close. And Mal is very sarcastic with Jake. Oh, you're the third born, you're the runt of the litter, you're expendable. And knowing that we're going to find out that he adores his son, and that's his best friend. Yeah. It's a kick watching it, knowing how things are going. And Des, oh my gosh. There's a scene, I think it's episode 2.
So good.
Everybody here has been through it, right? That's what I saw.
I don't know.
You remember the scene in episode 2 where he comes to the door because he's crushing on Penny. She's like, what are you doing here? And he's trying to play it up. I came to see you, girl. And she's like, aren't you afraid of my Uncle Jake? I don't know, scared. And Jake comes in the room, and Des takes off like a scalded cat. I thought I was going to die. That was so funny.
I love when the next thing you see in the first episode is they brought him back to the house, and he's chained to the I always call it a radiator, but I think it's called a radiator. He's chained to the radiator, and then Tinny comes in, and the father's like, why is he still here? You pushed him off a roof. He could sue us. And he's like, I'm gonna take the house. I'm injured. And so she comes in, and she goes over, and she goes, oh, look at that. And he goes, oh, I'm okay. I'm fit, girl. I'm fit. She turns around, she goes, he's not gonna see you. And they like high five, and he's like, look at your granddaughter. He tells them, he's like all proud.
Yep.
They're all characters. I love them so much. And I love when he gets mad about the art, and the father goes, I like it. And he's like, shut up. Like, it just.
I was, speaking of opening credits, the opening credits, at least for this season, end with Mal and Jake looking at each other. And I think that kind of hints at the one underlying strongest relationship in the show. Yes, there's Jake and Leslie, absolutely. But I think the overarching relationship is Jake and Mal.
It is.
And there's so many scenes where they're looking at each other. I think the last episode ended with them looking at each other. And I just love seeing that father-son bond thing with them. There's something about the father-son dynamic.
It's really good.
They would die for each other.
The pilot, I know, and we'll get to see some of that. The pilot had a totally different actor. The actor's an excellent actor. I can't think of what his name is. Somebody here might know, but it wasn't Sean McGinley. It was somebody else, and it was good. But I really like Sean as his father. Christina says, I'm savoring it. Roxanne told me to. I've been so busy this summer. I only get to watch a little bit before bed. That's good. Don't rush. Take your time.
Yep,
and the reason why I'm campaigning so strongly for it is because I want everybody to watch it because it's amazing. But I also know that Alan had said that he had a movie planned and they were going to do it. And I guess a couple years out, and then I guess other things got in the way, and he loves acting first. He was exhausted from, work, doing all the parts. He said season 5 almost like killed him. And then I'm like, well, COVID struck. Well, you can't wait any longer. And there's so many storylines by now that they could do at this point. So they've got to give us this 2-hour movie. I'm just like campaigning like crazy.
We'd like to get a grassroots movement.
Yes.
To let them know that this is something we want, we need. It's not something we want, we need.
We need it.
Movie.
and everybody else should like be posting and reposting my stuff if you can't think of your own, just because I'm only a one person show, but other people will, your followers will see it, and whoever, is here's me with the hands, whatever, you know, your connections will connect too. Margie, it's so good. I'm binging Doc and Billy Ray Cyrus. Not
With Billy
nearly.
Ray Cyrus. He stars as Doc.
Okay. Not nearly as exciting. Okay. Christina says, I guess we call ourselves the Doilies. Yes, and I love it. They're loving your background, Kathy. Jan's here and they're saying hello. Deanna. Is it Deanna or Dina? Hello. She's like, so good. I hear you. We hear you.
Yep.
All right. What's Jan saying? I've only started watching the first few episodes of season 2. It's so much fun. Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. Oh, Margie's letting us know that the redheaded guy was also an ER. Yep.
Oh, he is so funny though. Is the character Jimmy.
Uh-huh. I love St. John's. Jan says houses such beautiful colors. They are. I mean, the boats, everything about it. So every time I tell someone, they're like, oh, we're gonna go. We're gonna go. I had to go renew my passport so we can go. Yes. What's Margie saying? I love the playful back and forth between all the characters, especially between Doyle, his dad, and Des. Yes. Love Linda Boyd and Virgin River. I love her and everything. I mean, we know she's always going to be Elizabeth's mom in When Calls the Heart. And that's the funny thing. There's characters from When Calls the Heart, like you said, that show up. And there are so many actors that are Hallmark actors as well that show up. Rona loves Alan. He was on the episode of Hudson and Rex, and he's also filmed, which is also filmed in St. John's. I saw there was quite a few of them on Hudson and Rex, Rona. And also, Rona, is Rona from Canada? I forget. But Rona, tell us if you're from Canada. I forget. But also, he is in that new series. So there's 2 things I want to say. He also has a part in the new series Sullivan's Crossings, which Canada got to see, but we didn't, but it's coming on the CW this fall. And then he's also in a Moonshine. I've been dying to see it. Moonshine, it's like a series, and they're already into season 3 in Canada, and we're finally getting it. Season 1, it's tomorrow on the CW, 9:00 Eastern time. So, and he has a part in it. I don't know if he's in season 1 or not, but he is the leader of a biker gang, something like that. So,
is this Alan you're talking about?
Yeah.
Does he have that same leather jacket? Because that's another character that really deserves its own.
Yes. And he does have a leather jacket, and he does look mighty delicious, and he's got tattoos all over. And I'm like, oh yeah. How'd you just get even more delicious? I don't know. I love Alan. He was on an episode. Okay, I just shared that. Christina, you and I are, yes, born in the same time as the GTO. Scenery is gorgeous. Nikki, oh my God, Nikki, he needs to get away from her. Yes, yes.
Unstable.
She's very much unstable. Gloria is a newbie to the show, still on season 1. It's okay. Savor it. Love every minute of it.
It's really cool how they have very naturally compelling storylines for each generation.
Yes.
You've got Des and Tenny with their own thing. You've got Jake and Leslie and Nikki and that whole generation. And then you've got Mal and Rose and Martin, who, even though he's a kind of a rotter, I really like his character. He's you gotta love that self-confidence. So I like that it's got something for everyone. Hey, I caught a blooper, what I think is a blooper in the first episode in the hospital when the guy was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Did you notice anything?
No, what?
Anybody? The guy had a ventilator tube in his mouth, but it wasn't hooked to anything. And it's like, well, yeah, he's dying because there's nothing breathing for him.
Now I have to go look. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Margie says, what was this? I need to get ready to watch the show when I have time. Candace, yes. And just enjoy it. We'll be carrying on. As a matter of fact, I said, Kathy, how should we do this? Because there's a lot to digest. And we thought, we'll focus just on that first episode and get wet people's appetites. And then and your word was organic. So we're going to organically decide how many how many episodes of our show we will dedicate to season 1 and then season 2 and so on. But this brings me to Stephanie Beaumont. So Stephanie Beaumont, has had a, I'm going to call her a newscaster. Okay. And so she had a show that was called CSEA. Actually, I'll put it in the chat here. SEC by C by Scene. Is that what it was? SCENE. It's like a play on words. So she would go around and do all kinds of things about the area. Beautiful stuff with St. John, just Newfoundland in general. If you just want to watch, it's older and you can catch it all on YouTube. I put all the links from there that had anything to do with the coverage on Alan Hawko with Republic of Doyle. And it's linked on my channel. So you can watch all this stuff and all the wonderful stories. You can see interviews behind the scenes, all kinds of fun things if you would like. But yes, savor it, take your time. And she's going to be our guest when I'm not sure. She could not do this week because she had other commitments. She's still busy. She has something called Atlantic Curator. That's what it is now that she is on. And I'm hoping she'll come next week, but maybe not. She's a busy lady. And when we can get her, that will be great. But she said she would definitely come on. We just have to work our schedules out. And then, you know me, I've got my fingers in the works for other people. All right.
Stephanie would at some point in the future host a tour for us. We can all go to Newfoundland, St. John's, and she can do what do they call those tours? A Republic of Doyle tour or something, going by the places where they shot and
yes.
This is the pub that was used for the Doyle pub and such.
There is a woman who went. She told her journey about how she loved it so much, so she went on vacation there, and she did go take a tour. And so the Duke of Duckworth is a real place, and they did a really great job. You'll see this in the behind the scenes, where they did a great job of building that in a set. You get to see the house, the set, the whole thing. It's so cool. I mean, I love it. Which, Kathy, this is a great idea. We can all get together and meet and we'd all go. Oh, that's something we'll have to plan. All right. Margie says, when I finish binging of Doc, I'm going to go back and watch the whole thing all over again. And I wanted to adopt Des. Don't we all? Yeah. Des is funny. Des and Tinny, I love them. Yes. All right, Jen, my problem with it is it's like a good book. You can't get away from it. I sit down at night to watch one episode, but I have to watch just one more and one more. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My problem is I tend to watch the same ones over and over and over until I just tear myself away. Okay, you got to watch another episode now, because I was just watching the one yesterday where her partner Hood was getting married, and they come to the pub, and he's like, "Okay, everybody, Leslie Bennett is a great singer, and I want you to sing something for everybody." And so she was like, "No," and he finally convinced her. She starts singing, and Jake was the only word to use was mesmerized. He is just like, I would one of these days get a screenshot of him looking at her singing, if you will, Roxanne. He was just so focused. Everything else faded away. Do you remember the scene in West Side Story, where
yes.
Maria and Tony saw each other and everybody else just faded away? That's the way it was with Jake, except I don't think Leslie was looking at him. Even Nikki, who I think initially was trying to get back with him and keep the marriage going, but she's trying to talk to him, and she sees him looking and staring at Leslie, and she was like, "Fine," and she storms off. But those two, oh my gosh, yeah, I love that scene.
So what's funny is my ultimate favorite characters of all time are the original actors of the original made for Olivia Hussey is her name. She was so young when she played Romeo and Juliet. She was young. I watched the behind the scenes with them and all that. And those two had something going on in real life. That's why. But those two were just electric. I love them. And it actually made me like sick afterwards. This is how I learned about this term I'm going to share, but people have heard me say it before. And then my next couple that I've ever loved, ever of all times, and I was a great Game of Thrones fan, but no couple on there like did it for me like Outlanders, Jamie and Claire. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
oh my God, they're like historical. Like we're gonna know them from until I'm 100 years old if I
after
live
the
that long.
ages, no pun intended.
Yes. And yes, right. And then my next favorite character, and I did love Jack and Elizabeth, but my next favorite character is I mean team or couple is Lucas and Elizabeth from When Calls the Heart. And they're all different kinds of shows. And now I have to add up there is Leslie and Jake because they're such powerful. That's it all comes down to how powerful their chemistry is.
Exactly.
Like they're a good acting team, very much so. Um, let's see. We're in the third season of the show. Martha, you're here. Well, good. I want you to savor and love every minute of it. Lillian says, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I will. I just have to make the time. And that's good. Make the time. It's 6 delicious seasons. Just, savor it. It's amazing. Um, I find the mysteries pretty intriguing, but the snarky sense of humor, yes. And Arlene, I agree. That's the other thing, right, Kathy? So there's so many things that you want to watch for. And I do like how it just keeps unraveling. Like you think it's going one way and you find out something else, right?
Oh my gosh, first episode. He's like, well, Leslie, if you're really that grateful, why don't you find my address and come by? And so first unexpected, Nikki shows up and attacks him. Second shocker is Leslie actually came over there. But then and then she saw what was going on. So they got delayed for another 3 episodes. But you
But
just don't know
what's going to happen?
what's going to happen.
And as she's knocking on the door, Des is spray painting his GTO, right? And Tinny is putting her shoes back on and sneaking out of the garage. They have like a garage, like it's because it's up a cutout. So a walkout. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Martha loves Leslie. So do I. All right. Here's our friend. I don't know if it's Deanna or Dina. It was just great. My husband would say, are you watching this again? By season 2, we were both watching. I cried during season 5 ending. Who didn't? Even Alan Hawko. He
We
cried.
were talking about that. I was asking her, I said, what was that song they were playing? And it was like, say something. Yeah,
Say something.
you can't
Yeah.
watch that with dry eyes.
Margie says, I graduated high school in 1968, so I remember all the muscle cars. GTO was called GOAT. Yes, it was. And they had a model that was with her shifter's manual for him and automatic for her. Yes, and he actually talks about it. See by scene. Oh, that's what I was saying. I lived in Newfoundland. What? What? When I was a baby, my dad was in the Air Force and he was stationed there. Lillian, how about that? Jake was in Arrow. No, Jake was in what?
Oh,
I thought she meant Arrow. I don't know, Christina. Write that again. I love the scene when these two, Jake's and Leslie, were stuck in the back of the truck. Okay, we're not giving things away.
oh, okay. I know what she's talking about.
Here's a tough question. Have you found any scenes in the first season that you didn't like? No. No.
No, I can't say that I have.
No. Lucifer and Chloe, you're correct. They are a great couple. And they are that when it first came out, people were like, Lucifer, oh my goodness, you can't watch that. You're celebrating the devil. And I was like, you need to watch this because you're not celebrating the devil. That's for sure.
I liked Patrick and Teresa. They're one of my all-time favorites. Everyone you said, plus Patrick and Teresa.
Yeah. And Christina says, I didn't like Nikki always getting in the way. Yeah, she was cuckoo, but eventually that all works out, which is good. Oh my goodness. So we must watch. So I did share about there was nothing I didn't like in the Republic of Doyle. That's what Margie's saying. I did share about Stephanie Beaumont, who she was. And I wanted to also share that Perry has a book that's out and it's amazing. I read it. It's supposed to be, it's about a coming of age 12-year-olds, but it doesn't matter as an adult that you read it. When I was done, I cried. Well, I cried in more than one place. It was so good. My students will love it. And I wrote to him. I put it all over. I've been tagging them all over in social media. And Alan hasn't been on social media, but Linda Boyd has, and she shared some of her stuff. And Perry just came on today to post something, and he saw it and he liked what I said and he started to follow me. So I'm like, Perry, look at what I have, because you and Alan, you got to get it together and we need a movie. I didn't say that, but I'm saying it. Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody who's here will keep coming and also share with anybody you know who might like, who's a fan of the show already or who might like it. Because I'm impressed with what I'm seeing of people being able to, influence either bringing shows back that were canceled or having them do a wrap up episode or movie. It's just been phenomenal. I'd love to see that. I want to see what happened with where Jake and Leslie are now, and Des and Tim. And I want them to do it before people start dying off,
I know. I hear you. I agree. I feel the same way. What was else? I was going to say something and I got totally sidetracked because I was listening to everything that you said.
Deanna.
Thank you. Thank you. You had me missed this great show. Oh, okay. Yes, I did. I was going cuckoo telling everyone. Glad I subscribed to Acorn. Yes, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to see this great show. Well, let me tell you something, Margie. Acorn is not expensive, and next to Hallmark Channel, I watch it constantly. There are so many good mystery series on there. Every one that I've watched, I've loved. There's a really cool one with Jane Seymour in it. She just had one season last year, and then she just filmed the next season. But of course, Republic of Doyle's on there, and so are all my Murdoch mysteries. And they did a crossover. It's one of the things I said that were great. Like the main cast from Republic of Doyle went on the Murdoch Mysteries, like back in time with an ancestor, and then vice versa. Murdoch Mysteries cast came on Republic of Doyle and were in the future. So it's pretty cool how they do this. The writing is excellent. It really is. It just I can't say enough about it. And I'm like, wow, I really am loving this. Yeah.
Public service announcement. I'm watching Republic of Doyle on the Roku channel. So anyone that doesn't have a subscription to Acorn or doesn't want to get a subscription to Acorn, you can watch it on the Roku channel as well.
My father watches it. He started off with Amazon Prime, but it takes you to Freevee and it had 42 commercials. So he went to Peacock, and that was better for him. Yeah. Yeah. And Margie's saying she loves Acorn. And I have Roku, but didn't know it was on there. Yes, it is. I tried to list all the different ways people could see it. Sling TV, Freevee, which goes from Amazon Prime, because it's not just Amazon Prime, they send you to it. Peacock. Then, of course, if you're in Canada, there's Gem. Is that GEM? Gem, something like that. There's a couple other things that you could stream and still get it. All right, so fish and chips and an apple flip. Do you know what an apple flip is?
I want one.
Yes, it's boiled apple fruit. My father loves that, and it's in a pastry. And what else? They talk about just a couple different things that come out every now and then that give you a little flavor of being there. I will need to check out Jane's new show.
Jane Seymour, you were talking about.
Yes. She's a retired professor. What's it called? It's her name, but her name is she has it shortened, so it's a male name. I forget what it's called now. It's very good. If you have Acorn TV, check it out. It's excellent. There's a lot of things. There's all kinds of wonderful shows on there. Wonderful series that I follow and enjoy. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you tune in next week. It is our goal to designate Thursday nights for this, right? We're still trying to find our groove. I will post it as much as I can, and you can always, not that you have to, but if you hit the bell for notifications, if you subscribe to the channel, this is where this all streams to, and you'll get notifications that it's coming up.
There's actually a Republic of Doyle Facebook page that I
Okay.
gather is not very active, but we can fix that if
We
people are
can.
interested in that.
Don't get caught up. There's one that had like 300 and some, but I looked into that and they had a lot of spam on it. But there is a woman who runs one. There's a small group. I belong to it. And let's see if I can bring it up really fast. It currently only has 14 members, and she did it not too long ago. She put it together, the admin, and let's see. It looks like this. If anybody wants to join. Thank you, Arlene. Harry Wilds, you were right. Thank you. Thank you. So good. It's so good. All right. Well, this has been a blast. Thank you for tuning in.
Next time, I'd like to hear from you guys. What those of you who've watched it, what are your favorite episodes?
Yes.
Because I might like to go back and focus on some of those. Sometimes I'm not linear. I don't want to just go through it, in chronological order. Sometimes I like to go by whatever sounds interesting or will catch my eye. So I would be interested in seeing what faves all of you have.
All right. That's true. We want to hear from you. Let us know. Mention it and join the fan page. All right, friends. You have a good night.
Good night, all.
Doilies.
I got to go get my fish and chips and my pint.
Me too. Let's go. We'll head on out. Wait for me.